Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, I want to talk you through my 2026 hyperpigmentation skincare routine. But this isn't just any old dark spot routine, no. This is what I call the ultimate hyperpigmentation routine, featuring all my favourite products, hints, hacks, and techniques that I've really honed in over the last 5 years. I've been on my own hyperpigmentation journey, and as you guys know, I never gatekeep. I want to share with you what I've learned, my fails, my triumphs, and everything in between. And so this is the 2026 update of that routine. Sit back, relax, let's talk the ultimate hyperpigmentation routine. Now, in today's video, I've got a whole suite of products in front of me that I'm going to be slapping on this very face. I'm going to be fully open and honest and transparent with you guys about my own struggles with hyperpigmentation, what's worked for me, what hasn't, and how by effectively layering and pairing actives together, honestly, I've been able to transform the results that I see. I've listed and linked all the products mentioned in today's video down in the description box below. So if you want to check them out, read the reviews, look at the price point, all there for your convenience. And as always, just note that this video and everything on Mad About Skin is unsponsored and is never in paid partnership. I pride myself on my independence, speaking from the heart and not the wallet, because I want to give you guys truthful, honest and unbiased reviews, and I don't feel I can do that if I'm taking the coin from the big skincare brands. So if you appreciate truly independent skincare advice and recommendations, the best way of supporting me is by reaching down and giving the video a big thumbs up and a like. The more likes a video gets, the more widely YouTube will distribute it on its platform. So just from the bottom of my heart, love to each and every one of you. Now, without further ado, let's cut that waffle and delve straight on in. So today, I am going to try and do this with zero jump cuts or edits. I always like to do these full routine videos in one whole take. That way it just seems like a couple of skincare besties sat around doing our routines together, and I'm going to be doing it in real time. So I've just hopped out of the shower where I cleansed and then applied my eye cream. That's something I always do straight out of the shower, more out of habit really than anything else. And then we're going to come on to the full routine now. So my hyperpigmentation is linked to sun damage, but mainly through adult acne. I might be in my 40s, but I still experience breakouts and acne, and let's try and normalize that. I think there's still a bit of a stigma about people feeling ashamed of breaking out past your 20s. People see it as a teenage problem, nothing afterwards. It's a fact of life. Most people at some point will have adult acne. It might be hormonally linked to monthly cycles. It could be as a result of stress occurring in a certain time in your life. It might just be your inbuilt DNA, as it is for me. I will break out fairly consistently around the year. It comes in peaks and troughs, and I've just got out of a quite significant breakout. I've got that back under control, and now I'm going to fix the hyperpigmentation with this routine. But just know, this routine works no matter whether your hyperpigmentation is acne-led, whether it's hormonal, it might be melasma, sun damage, whatever the cause, the basis is the same and these products will work for you. So, fresh out of the shower, and what I used to cleanse was this. This is the remedy for cleansing, the ceramide version. They do two versions. They do an exfoliating and a ceramide. The ceramide one is the one that I use when I'm dealing with hyperpigmentation. And that's because let's set our routines up for success. So often I see people using too harsh stripping and drying cleansers. That's never going to work. That just means that the rest of your skincare routine has to work really hard in order to counteract the damage you've done with your cleanser. Get a gentle, rich, creamy, hydrating cleanser, and honestly, that could make the world of difference no matter what your skincare routine is targeting. So I use the Remedy one with ceramides, which is fantastic. You get an absolute vat of product. They do a smaller size if you want to kind of try it with a smaller size, you can. I actually use that all over the body. It's a large enough size that you can do that head to toe, just divine. And I actually stuck with the same brand when I went with the eye cream, which I went in with this. This is the Remedy for Dark Circles. This one is actually out of stock at the moment at the time of filming. I will leave a link down below. Check it out, you might be able to snag yourself one, depending where in the world you live. The best eye cream I have ever used. I loved it so much, I actually covered it in a separate video, which I'll dig out and leave a link to up there. I use this because it just works. Dark spots, discoloration, under eye hyperpigmentation. This does it all. One product and your under eye is done. This one is actually, like if it's out of stock, you can't get it, you could use the Mary and May tranexamic acid one. works in a similar way, maybe not quite as amazing, but kind of works in a similar way. So if you can't get the remedy, that Mary and May one I'll link down below too. It's a good dupe and a good alternative if you can't get your hands on the remedy. So that's me done. That's me done, out of the shower. I'm all ready. Threw on some clothes so I didn't terrify you and all, anyone watching. And now we're going to get into the routine proper. So starting out with weekly treatments, I'm just going to give a quick mention to weekly treatments. I exfoliate once a week. That's enough for my skin. I was over exfoliating for years, thinking that was going to help my hyperpigmentation. The more I exfoliate, the more that these dark spots will disappear. Actually, no, it just ends up exacerbating your hyperpigmentation through irritation and inflammation. So stick to exfoliating once, at tops twice a week, and that's where you're going to get the best results. At the moment, I am using this. This is the Sachi Skin Complexion Clarifying Accelerator. The reason I use this is it's packed full of some quite unique acids that I think work better than just a traditional glycolic acid skin stripper. That never worked for me. This has deoic acid, it's got mandelic acid enzymes in here, which is fairly unique to this product, manuka honey, which calms and soothes, and you've also got a red blend of things like Centella asiatica to reduce inflammation further. It's just really good, genuinely works. I use it once a week, it's absolutely beautiful. If you can't get your hands on this one, I will link this one, but if you can't get your hands on this or you want a more cheaper alternative, more affordable alternative, the PSA Skin Silver Lining Moisturizer also has that deoic acid with mandelic enzymes in too. So these two you can use interchangeably. Once a week, I would use these because I think over-exfoliation really is the enemy of hyperpigmentation. Little is all you need, and those two products, particularly this one, this will leave you with the smoothest, most beautiful skin of your dreams. I absolutely love it, and it doesn't strip and dry. So now into the full routine. I'm going to start with a little bit of a toner. I've got, as always, I've got cat hair here. I think this is a feature. I don't think I've filmed a single full skincare routine video without a cat hair stuck to my face. I know you guys can relate because I've asked you this before. I know you guys can relate. Anyone with a dog, a cat, a hamster, or whatever, a gerbil, I don't know, whatever animal you've got, you can guarantee that their hair will form part of your morning skincare routine. So sorry about that, I'll get that out. Now, this is the Secret Key Starting Treatment Essence. I'm using the rose one because this is my morning routine, and I just really, really like the uplifting, the uplifting rose vibe. You can use the original fragrance-free one if you want. I actually declared this to be my all-time favorite Korean skincare product. I stand by that, it's phenomenal. If you haven't seen that video, then I'll link it up there. If you wanna go down the rabbit hole and look at some more videos, that's a really, really good one to check out. Then I'm gonna go in with growth factors and peptides. So a lot of the time when people talk about hyperpigmentation, dark spots and discoloration, we focus on acids, retinoids, vitamin C's, things that we can do to sort of attack it. Actually, we also need to build up the skin. We need to nourish from within. We need to build up the skin. We need to protect collagen, boost collagen, because all of that is going to help as well minimize those dark spots and discoloration. So don't neglect your peptides or your growth factors. Both amazing for anti-aging. I'm on my anti-aging hyperpigmentation era, trying to tackle both with one routine, and that's what I do. And so I'm going to go in with these. So first of all, I'm going to go in with this, which is the Allies of Skin Multi-Peptides and Growth Factors Advanced Lifting Serum. This I absolutely love. I think it's the best growth factor serum on skincare planet Earth. Biocompatible growth factors, the ones that are already present in our skin, meaning they just work quicker and more effectively. I love it. And you've got a dose of peptides in here too. If your budget doesn't stretch to this one, I have got a discount code for this, by the way, which I use when I buy it myself. So I'll leave that down in the description box below. If your budget doesn't stretch to this one, you could use the Medicae Liquid Peptides Advanced. Very similar, like very, very similar. If this is at performance is like 100%, the Medicae performance is like 94, 95%, almost as good and a third of the price. So if you didn't want to, if you couldn't reach to this one and you wanted pretty much a like-for-like dupe, that Medicae Liquid Peptides Advanced is amazing. I do 1.5 pumps of this for the whole face. I find that works. And I rub that in. Now, for me, this is like the best. This is peak. it's peak growth factors. But I always encourage people to shop within their budget and their price point. This is my one splurge item that I always buy, but that Medicate one is really, really good. Then I'm going to go on with keeping the Medicate thing. Oh, look at the state of that. I am really sorry. Do you know what? I'm going to ask a question at this point in the video. As I've got your attention. We can have a little chat. When it comes to videos, what do you guys want to see? Do you want to see authenticity, like this is it, this what you see is what you get, where we might have a heavy used bit of a dodgy cap situation here, products might be, you know, trimmed, the caps cut off, me scraping every last drop out? Do you want that, or would you rather see like new product and more like elevated? Do you want me to polish things up is what I'm saying? Because I always think, for me, what you see is what you get. Yes, I could have probably wiped this out, to be honest. Probably should have done that. But you know what? I think at least it shows that it's been used and loved, rather than something pristine. But if you'd rather see pristine so you see how it's going to arrive, let me know. What do you want to see? Basically, let me know in the comments what you want to see. I'm going to put some of this. Now, this is a bit of a new one for me. I am not a fan of niacinamide. My skin, should I say, is not a fan of niacinamide. I use too much. Oh, my skin is screaming. And this is 10% niacinamide with hyperpigmentation fighting peptides. So normally, and NAG, which is great, it's another great ingredient for hyperpigmentation. So normally I would stay away from this because it says 10% niacinamide and I could just hear my skin screaming. But they said that it's a niacinamide in a base which is designed for people who don't easily tolerate niacinamide. So designed for people that are sensitive to the ingredient but still want to use it. So I thought, okay, I'll try it. I'll hear them out, I'll try it. And I did. And I haven't reacted at all to this. This is the one niacinamide serum I can actually use. And once my hyperpigmentation is under control and I'm in maintenance phase, I probably won't use this. I don't think I'll need it. But while I'm trying to really double down on the results and get things a little bit quicker, I found this to work really, really well. The 10% niacinamide is unique because of the formula. I can actually use it. As someone that just generally can't tolerate niacinamide, I can with this. The NAD is great, and they've chosen peptides specifically for hyperpigmentation, which I really appreciate. So yeah, this is a little hidden gem. I wouldn't normally use this, but like I say, when I'm in active treatment phase of this routine, I will. When I go into maintenance, this is probably the product that I'll drop to just streamline things down. Now we're going to come into like the active. So I think we've set ourselves up for success. And this is something I would like to promote when it comes to people's own routines. I think if we can set ourselves up for success before we then dive in with the harsh actives, that's really where you're going to see the best results. So we've used a gentle cleanser to hydrate, cleanse and nourish. We've gone in with a hydrating toner to offset any dryness. We've got our peptides, we've got our great growth factors all in here. Things are really like hydrated, plumped, nourished, ready to go. And then we can put a few actives in that are really going to target our hyperpigmentation without stressing the skin out and causing inflammation. And I think this is what's really worked for me. So I'm going to put another dose of this on because A, it's my all-time favorite Korean skincare product, so why not? But also because I just like to apply my serums on damp skin. I find that they work better. And next I'm going to go in with a couple of pumps of this, which is the Mad About Skin Multi-Active Super Serum. This is actually from my own skincare line. And the reason I'm doing this is this contains vitamin C. It contains some extra peptides. I do something called peptide layering, where I use multiple peptides on top of themselves for the best plumping and results. And this is the third part of that peptide layering. We had them in that Medicate product. We had them in the Allies of Skin product. We've now got them in this product. Beautiful. It's got antioxidants, which are going to protect the skin, work with your SPF to really lock in all that protection. You've also got in here, so like I said, that vitamin C and a small dose of azelaic acid. We're going to boost the azelaic acid in a minute, but it's nice to have that in here as like a base. And you've got some glycerin in here, which is really hydrating and nourishing for the skin. So it's just a great like skincare routine in a bottle, a great place to start when it comes to your actives with hyperpigmentation. And then now I'm going to go in with this one. This is actually only recently launched. This is the Mad About Skin Dual Action Dark Spot Serum. So in here, you've got an additional dose of azelaic acid, 10%, which is perfect to combine with the Super Serum, which has a 5% azelaic acid. So you're adding that together to really like turbocharge the results. You've got 5% tranexamic acid, which calms, soothes, and evens out the distribution of pigment in the skin. It's one of the best hyperpigmentation ingredients you can use. And 2% alpha-arbutin, which is like a wonder ingredient when it comes to just really speeding up the results you're going to see. This is my best trio of ingredients that I've been using for the past 5 years. But it was really hard to find them in a serum. Brands, for some reason, never formulated with azelaic acid and tranexamic acid together. They certainly never thought of adding alpha-arbutin into the mix. So I thought, well, out of frustration of having to layer 3 individual actives, I would just put them together and create my own product. So yeah, this actually launched. And if you want to know a bit more detail about how azelaic acid, tranexamic acid, and alpha-arbutin work together for hyperpigmentation, I've actually covered that in a separate video, which I'm going to link up there. Definitely worth checking out. But I'm going to put a couple of pumps of this on my skin. Now, of course, you don't have to use a serum. At this point, you could absolutely use your favorite azelaic acid serum, tranexamic acid serum, and alpha-arbutin serum side by side. That would be absolutely fine, no problem at all. Or you can use it all in one in this. Now, this serum is $17.99, about $20. So definitely super affordable when you look at it being like a 3-in-1. But if you've got your favorites, just use them at this point. That's absolutely fine. The message I wanted to get across is, please can we start using azelaic acid, tranexamic acid, and alpha-arbutin together in a routine, because these 3 are like the core 3, alongside niacinamide, vitamin C, which we've already covered. These are like the core 3 actives that are really going to deliver for you. And yeah, make sure that you use them together. That's made the biggest difference for me. And then we're just going to throw on a sunscreen. And I mean, you can use whichever sunscreen you want. Just make sure it's broad spectrum, because there is no point doing everything we've just done if we're then not protecting the skin properly. So broad spectrum, make sure you choose one with a known SPF, 50 plus ideally, and make sure you also know the PPD rating of the product, which tells you what the UVA protection is. UVA rays are the ones that trigger most of the hyperpigmentation, so you need a product that's actually going to deliver some protection against it. Ask a brand what the PPD rating is on their sunscreen. If it's over 19, you're good. That's sky-high protection. If a brand won't say, red flag. If they tell you it's under 19, you might want to shop for something that's a bit higher. There are lots of ones around, and I covered my favorites in a recent video, which again, I'll link up there. Today, I'm going in with this from my own line. This is the Mad About Skin Protect and Hydrate Sunscreen, and the PPD rating on this is 23, so well in excess of that 19 that indicates the broad spectrum protection we need for hyperpigmentation. I use a good amount of this because it actually acts, like I say, as my moisturizer and my sunscreen all in one. Save a step, streamlining, who doesn't love that? So I'm going to go in with one small amount, and I would recommend everybody does this. One thin layer on, then go in with a second thin layer on top about a minute later. That way, if you miss any areas on the first pass, you'll catch them on the second pass. Top tip for making a really good go at your sunscreen: 2 thinner applications, better than 1 thick application. It also feels better on the skin if you do it that way, whatever sunscreen you're using. I'm going to go in with my second layer off camera because I like to do it in the mirror so I can really make sure I get all of those nooks and crannies, because I have got to go out and run some errands, so I want to make sure I am protected. But that's what I call the ultimate hyperpigmentation skincare routine. Hopefully in this video there isn't anything groundbreaking. I don't say that we need to have a whole suite of new actives or viral products or anything like that. I think we just need to be a bit strategic. Make sure we're doing things like not over exfoliating, because that can be counterintuitive. Making sure we're streamlining where we can, because fewer products is just going to speed up the process and hopefully save some of your hard-earned coin. Make sure that we're locked in with our sun protection and we know exactly what we're using. Reach out to brands, ask them what their UVA protection is. If they won't tell you, huge red flag. And let's prioritize preparing the skin, hydrating, calming, soothing before we then go in with those actives, because for me at least, that's what's paid the biggest dividends. Hopefully this has helped you on your own hyperpigmentation journey. And of course, this is the morning version. So if you've watched it this far to the bitter end, reach down into the comments and leave me the moon emoji, the full moon, the half moon, crescent moon, whatever. Find a moon emoji and leave it in the comments if you like the evening routine equivalent of this one. If you do, I would be happy to film it. If enough people drop that moon emoji, I'll know it'll be a popular video, and of course I'll sit down and film it. But thank you so much for watching with me to the bitter end, and wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.